feet hip width apart. And then just take a couple of deep breaths. Try and get the shoulders nicely relaxed. A little bit of wiggling on the toes, engage the arches underneath the feet, soften the knees, tuck the pelvis under. And we're going to go pelvic floor TVA, pull in fast, and then a slow release. We'll do it 10 times. So nice and upright, length at the back of the neck. Try not to look down at the screen for this if you can, so look forwards. Try not to hold the breath. Okay, so pulling in, slow release, pulling in, slow release, pulling in, slow release, pulling in, and slow release. Just check you're drawing tummy button into, slow release. 5 left, pulling in, slow release. Try not to hold the breath, pulling in, slow release, pulling in, slow release, pulling in, slow release, and one more, pulling in. Slow release, take a 50% now, so you've got the engagement there, but not so much that you're holding your breath. And we're just going to go to the fingertips, a bit like what we did last week, just a little bit of tapping, just at the bottom of the chest, the rib cage, just gentle kind of tapping with the fingertips. And then just move that up to where the collarbones are, just tap along the collarbones. It's kind of just a real gentle way of kind of engaging with the nervous system a little bit. And again, going just these little muscles, idea, these fingers. Then at the tops of the shoulders. And then just the sides, the temples, just the sides. Just very gentle. Just a little kind of finger tapping or finger flapping. Then to the top of the head, to the crown of the head. So, I mean, like in yoga, we think about chakras. It's kind of one way of starting to think about kind of waking up the chakras. Okay, then we can just release from there. Then go to the fingertips and the mudras. Remember these a while ago. So we'll go with thumb and index finger. See if you can straighten the other fingers. Oh, and that's often quite hard, especially going into the winter. Then the middle finger, and again, see if you can just find the other ones straight. Then the ring fingers, again, other ones straight. Then the little finger, and I can never do this one. Sometimes I have to manually straighten those fingers. And then just a little test to end, this is quite tricky. See if you can split the two. Some of you find that really easy. I find that quite tricky, that one. Okay, and then just release a little bit of a shake on the fingers. Just interlink them, and we'll go to the wrists, and then take the figure of 8. I think we did this one last week. Just a bit of a figure of 8. And you can also take a figure of 8 with the hips as well, so you kind of just let things kind of flow from the wrists. Still keep an eye on that 50%, so pelvic floor and TVA. Then see if you can go the other way around with the figure of 8. Okay, and a bit of a shake, and then we're going to go shoulders down, and you can look down with that. Shoulders up, and then shoulders down, looking down, chin to chest, shoulders up, and maybe looking up, but we're not doing like a big extension there, to look up in the back of the neck. Adding in, if you want, when you go up, a little bit of a scapular set, so it's almost like a bit of an opening on the chest, and then as you come down, you can kind of really let the shoulders round. So again, you can go up, look up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then come down, and you can add to that. Slide the hands down, soften the knees to a forward fold. Again, that scapular set. Now keep an eye on pelvis here, so try not to let the pelvis kind of, you want to keep the pelvis tucked under for your scapular set. Try not to arch in the lower back. too much. Keep engaging with the core. Just trying to get those shoulders down and back, chin to chest, down into the roll down, knees nice and soft. Think about the lower back. Release more than a hamstring stretch. And we'll go 2 more. It's breathing in as you lift, and it's breathing out as you do your roll downs. Then we're going to go for a nice big circle with the arms all the way around and then into a side bend. Try and keep your hips still, knees soft, and kind of not on your toes, but kind of energy towards the balls of the feet. So we're kind of, you know, like as if you were ready, maybe, I don't know, standing on the blocks, ready to go, if you're a swimmer, or ready to go on the start line. This energy there that we're ready to perhaps move or I don't know. Ear goes down into the shoulder, so there's a little bit of work there in the neck. As you go into your nice big arm circles, again, just keep an eye on the pelvis, pull the core in, try not to arch in the lower back too much. So to progress from this, go arms up and then side bend. So the side bend gets a little bit more intense, and then you can arm circle and then over to your side bend. So you just switch it over, pulling in the core, try not to arch in the lower back. Press down into the feet as you recenter. And if this feels a little bit too intense, go to the first version and side bend with your arms down by your sides. Breathing out as you go over, breathing in as you recenter. We go 2 more. Keep the knees soft. And last one. Centering, and then we're going to go into our squat. So just feet hip width apart, hips back into space. Bend the knees and then reach forward. So just a couple of them. Focus on alignment of knees and feet. Try not to let knees drop in. Try not to let the arches kind of pronate and drop in. And see if you can get that same kind of energy onto the ball of the feet. It's almost like you would do a squat and then kind of lift up. And it's breathing in as you lift. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed. Breathing out as you come down. Still engaging with the core. Adding in if you want then. So go down into your squat. And then you need to get on the balls of the feet a little bit up for a star balance. So just lift one leg to the side. Then recenter into your squat. And then over for a star balance. And just try and use the big toe there to stabilise yourself in the balance. A little bit of glutes as well, which is quite good. And a little bit of core. Breathe in for the star. Try and breathe out as you come down into your squat. 2 more. So from there, a little bit more balance. A high knee, so just lifting up one knee. Now, just be aware you don't tilt in the hips with that, so you don't have to lift so high if it means you tilt. Draw in the core, and then just take the same leg and kick back. Now you can take arms down by your sides to begin with, and then just see if you can go high knee, lift arms, into that kick back, cape arms. And then you can keep working the same leg. Try not to swap just yet. High knee, lift up the arms, draw in the core, try not to arch in the lower back, and then come down to the cape arms. And what you can think about doing is starting to straighten that leg as you go back into that kick back. Squeeze a little bit more in the glutes. Soften the front knee that's working with you on balance. Then we'll go to the other side, same one. High knee, use your big toe, squeeze in the glutes, arms up. And then take that behind into the balance. So if it's all a little bit too much, you could just work with a soft high knee. You don't have to go too far. And then just a gentle kind of point the toe back. So there's always like a halfway option there. Eye gaze just in front of you as you're doing your kick back. And then when you go into your high knee, try and look forwards, try not to look down. Try and breathe out into that kick back. Two more. Thinking about straightening that back leg now. Release just a bit of a shake out with the legs. We're going to take a quad stretch again. We did do this one last week. You might want to hold on to something. I'll let you choose on that one. Otherwise it's a balance. So again, just take it so your thumb points behind you and see if you can take hold of the inside of kind of the ankle, because then you get this lovely stretch, chest to shoulder. So then think about the knees being in line, send the hips forwards. Then looking forward, so don't let the chin drop down. So let's go to posture and kind of lift up the rib cage, look forwards, but try not to arch in the lower back, tuck the pelvis under. So if you've got all that stretch in there and you want to work with balance, just see if you can kind of take a salute, and then if you want to test yourself, you can kind of play around with the elbow moving in and out. So optional, add in. Again, we're looking forwards, try not to look down. Keep working with the shoulder stretch here as well. So thinking about the stretch on the chest and keep tucking the pelvis under. Don't let the lower back arch, work with the core. Just one more breath. Then we'll literally switch sides. So again, just set yourself up in your stretch first. So again, we go thumb pointing behind us so that this is nice and open for the stretch on the chest. Then just take the inside of the foot. Then just thinking about where the knees are, see if you can keep them not together as in touching, but as in if I'm looking down, they're in line. Then look forwards, lift the chin. Tuck the pelvis under, draw in the core. Maybe you're working with balance, and sometimes off your mat is easier on the balance. You can take that salute. Again, work with the core, tuck pelvis under, and then you can kind of play around with this other elbow, spare hand, in and out. And then just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Keep setting the hips forwards. And then a bit of a release, a bit of a wiggle on the feet and the toes. And actually we're going to come down to the mat now. So if you meet me with a downward dog or a puppy dog, if you've got that downward dog position, perhaps a nice slow pedal through. Stretch out the backs of the legs. Feet hip width apart, or even wider if it feels more comfortable for you. Now I often find I get into dog and I'm in this position, which isn't like like the pointy mountain position I want. So I'm going to go forwards to a plank, and then I'm going to hinge from the hips, take it back up, and then I get the stretch at the shoulders. I kind of feel like I often have to do that to create that feeling of the chest going towards the thighs. And then I'm just going to soften my knees. Don't have to have straight legs in the plank to get that stretch in the backs of the shoulders. Spread the fingers and really press the palms down into the mat. So if we're thinking about working with the little muscles or the fingers, the wrists here, really spread fingers, spiral biceps towards each other. Option, if you want to, is to take it down to a dolphin, which is where you bend the elbows and you come a bit lower. So there's a little option in there if you want to. Just take 2 more deep breaths. Obviously it's an inversion so that the blood goes to the brain. The heart's above the head, so it's kind of invigorating. Then just bend the knees, bring it down onto all fours. And we're going to go for a little bit of a combination on all fours. So take a moment, find neutral. Pelvic floor TVA in, and then just take 3 deep breaths where you're just going to think about widening the rib cage. And check your shoulders are down away from your ears. The crown head is in line with the spine. And you're really kind of inflating the lungs like you'd be blowing up a balloon. So we're going to go for a straightening one leg and then into a leg lift. And we're not going for a really high lift. You just take a very small kick up. Then bend. We did that one last week. And then just see if you can just touch the foot, just a touch with the opposite hand. Recenter, straighten, and then lower it down. So I was just going really slow. So first is a straighten, and you're squeezing your quad to get that straighten. Then a very small lift with control, squeeze glutes. Then it's the bend, so we go to hamstrings. Then it's a touch back to stretch the chest. Recenter, lengthen with control, so the hamstrings engage, and lower. Switch sides. Squeeze, lift, bend, a little bit of a reach and a touch. Try and keep the hips still all the time. Straighten with control and lower. And actually it's quite hard doing it this kind of slow with control and kind of thinking about each, oh, where's the foot? Is anyone else doing that? Thinking about each move. Glutes squeezing, hamstring working on the bends. A little bit of that reach around to keep working into the chest. Glute and hamstring works as you lengthen away. To that lift, bend, into that touch, lengthen, release. Option now to add the opposite arm on the leg lift. Lift, bend, then you can just sweep that arm round, extend, and then release. 3 more. Into the lift, into the bend, into the extend, and then release. Keep that focus there on the hips, the lower back, the core getting pulled in. So that center point just stays really lovely and still in this move. Last one. And then release. So a release with a low lunge, so just step forwards, doesn't matter whichever leg. And then just the same foot, the same side with the foot forwards, just place the elbow or the hand on that knee and just take a really nice big side bend. Reach the other arm up over the body's midline. Keep a little bit of engagement there with the core. So a little bit of pelvic floor work. And if you can, eye gaze up towards the ceiling, spiral heart to ceiling. Think about just filling out the lungs, widening the rib cage. And then we'll literally switch sides. So it's a low lunge on the other side. Check your hip width or even a little bit wider. Allow the hips to sink. Then just rest that elbow on that knee. Draw in the core. Then a big sweep over into that side bend. Spiraling heart to ceiling. Looking up, lifting up the chin. And then again, just taking some really deep breaths. I'm trying to work out what they're watching upstairs. It's not the news. Release from there. Come down then onto your fronts. And just take airplane arms, so arms out to the sides. Now I do have a wall, which is a bit annoying, so I might shift over a bit. You do need a bit of space either side. If you haven't got the space, maybe you have to work in cactus, I guess. Otherwise, arms out to the sides. Breathing out, lift head and shoulders. Looking down, crown of head in line with the spine. Breathing in lower. It's like what we normally do with a swan dive. I've just taken a different position on the arms. A little bit of engagement with pelvic floor. Maybe you feel a stretch here on the inside of the arms on the left. Adding in the lift up the arms. So breathing out lift, breathing in lower. The aeroplane just going down the runway, lifting, it's a bit windy, lowering down. Oh, that would be horrifying, wouldn't it? Think about reaching your wings to the sides, so you're really stretching right through your fingertips. Then breathing out, lift, but lift one side a little bit harder than the other, so it's like you're an airplane turning around a bend. Center it and then lower. Then go to the other side. Lift, then squeeze, just lift, looking to that side as well, on the lift. Recenter and then lower. Breathing out, lift. To the side, center, and release it down. And lift, and to the side, and then centering. Down, just two more, just keep working at stretching those arms to the side, really working into the lift there as well. And lift, try and keep the crown in line with the spine on the lifts, turns, bringing it back down. So from there, we'll go through a little cobra, so just bring your hands in front of the shoulders. Breathing out, squeeze the shoulder blades together and keep the shoulders down away from the ears. So squeeze the elbows in. Don't need to straighten the arms, but you can work at straightening the arms if you choose. Just take 3 deep breaths, but draw in the core, find an abdominal stretch in here. So find that pelvic floor, find TVA. And then slowly lowering that back down. And then just rest your head on your hands. We're going to do some glute activation. So squeezing one of the glutes and then leg lift. And then release. So we're going from kind of working with the upper back, the shoulders, into working with glutes, hamstrings, lower back. Squeeze glute, hamstring engages on the left. Other side of the lower back stabilizes. So see if you can just, if you close your eyes and just visualize that chain. Engage the core as well, pelvic floors in. And as you do these squeezes and these lifts, think about the foot as well, reaching away from the body, down to the end of the mat. So not only lifting, but squeezing and reaching away from the body. Breathing out left. Breathing in lower. If you can, pointing those toes on the left. 3 more. So we're going to release that work with a cat stretch. So on all fours, chin into chest. Think about tucking the tummy in and get that space between the shoulder blades. You can really send the breath into that space. Just bringing that down into neutral. I think we did this one last week. It's the twist thread through. Reach one hand up to the ceiling, threading that through, and then just reach that arm to the side, the hips go up to the ceiling, reach the other hand towards the front of the mat. So you should get this stretch underneath the arm of the hand reaching forwards. And then a stretch on the outside of the shoulder of the hand reaching through. Keeps really thinking about fingertips and stretching, reaching. Then uncurl and go to the other side. Start with the sweep up. You can let the hips drop. And then go for the thread through. Then reach that hand to the side. Then start extending the other arm forwards. And see if you can get that arm as straight as you can, the one going forwards. Work with those fingertips. Feel the stretch on the inside of the arm and then on the outside of the shoulder and the arm on the other side. Hips up towards the ceiling. 3 deep breaths. Not only are you getting all these juicy stretches on your shoulders, but it's also a nice thoracic spine twist. Gently unravel them, and we're going to go to our front leg pull. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Pelvic floor TV and lifting up the hips into that hover. Now just check we're not arching in the lower back, so tuck everything in. Option then, so go for about 30 seconds. You could go with the legs straight and press back towards the heels. Check the shoulders aren't up towards the ears. So, or you could work with squeezes, so just straightening one leg and then bend, straighten through the other leg and then bend. If you're already up in your full plank, you could work with a knee drop. So we'll go for about 10 of these. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, pull in on TVA, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing that down, have a little rest. And the next one we're going to do is a fingertip press up. So when we're ready then, I just found a little stone on the floor. Put that to the side. So pelvic floor in TVA, lifting up the hips. Bring yourself up to what would be a full plank. So I'm going to do this with my knees down. Option, you probably could do this with your legs straight if you were super strong. Take your hands off the mat, go right up onto these fingertips. Tuck pelvis under, draw in core. Bend the elbows, find a chest stretch, push yourself back out. If all that's too intense, you can do that against a wall instead. So you can go here into a wall. Same move. Also, kitchen units are quite good for that too. So we're going for about 8 of these, so about 6 more if we've done about 2. Breathing in the left, breathing out to come down. Try not to arch in the lower back, so keep engaging with the core. Let's go about 3 more. Really wakes up all the nerve endings in the fingers, this one. Whew. Then release, we'll go to a child's pose, so sit back onto the heels. If child's pose doesn't suit you with your knees, maybe find your puppy dogs. And then just relax the shoulders, and we'll go to the one we did last week. So just place your hands there on your feet, forehead on the mat. And then just a little massage on the feet, so just a little bit of a squeeze.
on the heels, on the arches. If you can, you could pinch the toes. And then go to the yogic press, so breathe in at the belly, send it up the spine, all the way towards the forehead. And just if you can work through 4 really big, deep yogic breaths. So from there we're going to pick a side. And actually I'm going to do the same side routine that we did last week because I quite liked it. So I'm going to work with that one again, just for this month. But you know what, I'm going to start on the side that I never start on. Caught myself out then. So bend knees, we'll go to the clam first. Line up heels, hips, shoulders. Now just check that you're almost rolling forward, so we're not kind of really opening out here. We're allowing ourselves to crunch a little bit at the front. Lift top knee and lower. I always tend to put my hand on my hip just to check my hips not kind of opening with that. Draw in the core, pelvic floor TVA in. And just try and work into that little bit of resistance at the end of the band. My legs are useless today. This is so hard for me today after my race. Oh gosh. Hopefully I'm doing some relays on Saturday. I just hope I've recovered. Don't run up and down a mountain. That's the thing, isn't it? Oh god. 3 more. Hopefully it's a bit easier for everybody else. Oh. Then we go to the double leg lift, spin to teaser. And last week I did that with the weight. So again, we can put the weight in here. Line yourself up, but you need to be at the front of the mat, so we do the spin onto our backs. Lift top leg, lift bottom leg. Get the rib cage lifted, arm up and over. Now you can put your weight in here. Arm up. Then relax, chin goes to chest. Use your weight to lever yourself up, reaching up into a teaser position. You could always take half a teaser. And then bring that down, roll it back around. So we'll do 3 more like that. I'm not going to do it with the weight because it just feels like a little bit too much. My body's hurting today. Lift, left, rib cage. Arm up for the balance. Then release, sit round, try and get some flow. Chin into chest and lift. Then think about lifting up the chest, shoulders down and back, really working into those teasers. And then release. Option on a progression is lower and lift for 2 teasers. I'll show you on this one. Lift, lift, rib cage lift, reach, take some balance, then start to relax into the roll, chin to chest, lift to a teaser, progressing, lowering, lifting again to the teaser, and then lowering again, back onto the side for the last one. Left, left rib cage, take that double leg lift, draw in the core, then relax, chin goes to chest, find your teasers, lift up your chest. If you want to work it, lower it down, lift it back up, release, bring that all the way back round to the side, weights to the side for a sec, lift top leg, flex foot, side kick, point toe, bring it back. Try and keep that foot maybe hip height or a little bit lower. exaggerate flex and point, so you really kind of work with the muscles in the feet, calf muscles. It's good for the hip as well, this one. Adding in, if you want, you could take the whole kind of upper body twist. So hands behind head, drop the elbow, then bring it forwards for a touch. As any twist in Pilates, think about the core. So you bring in the core if you're twisting, just a little bit of engagement. Breathing out as you come forwards with the elbow, breathing in as you're opening out. 2 more. And then we're going to take those 3 onto the other side. So spin it around. You want the small loop bands for your clams. I don't think I'm going to put my bands in because I just need my legs to recover. Oh, she's an invalid today. Bend knees. Heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders. Lift top knee and lower. Control what's happening with the hip. So try not to let that hip really open. Pull in the core. Again with the feet as well, try not to let the feet kind of point, a little bit of flexion there in the feet, and the arches don't crumble around each other. So it's like the position that you're in a squat, you've got that little bit of tension under the ball of the feet. Try not to look down at the knees, so looking forwards as well. Breathing out, lift, breathing in lower. Are you feeling that with the glute med, especially when you put the bands in? Maybe thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. There's a new move. 3 more. Then go to your double leg lift. You can put your weights in, going over to a teaser, so on the front of the mat. You want to come out of the bands. Lift top leg, lift bottom leg, rib cage, got the balance. Then start into your roll, chin into chest. Draw yourself up to your teasers. Then think about straightening the backs of the legs, kind of taking the shoulders back, lifting up the chest. Then release, roll it round. 3 more on the second 2. We'll add in double lifts if you want for a teaser. Find the core when you find that double leg lift, chin to chest, reaching it up, releasing and rolling. This time, if you choose, you could put in that double teasers, lift lower and lift lower. Just as a little bit of a test for the core. Remember, it starts with the chin into the chest. And release. Last one then, lift and lift. Rib cage. Find some balance. Find pelvic floor. Into the release. The roll, chin to chest, lift. Double lifts if you choose. Release it down and then find your side kick. Flex that top foot, kick it sideways, bring it back. Really exaggerate flex and point. Try and keep this leg up hip height, don't let it drop. Then you've got the option to bring in the big twist, hands behind head, drop the elbow, and then just touch the elbow in front, find the core. Quite a nice way of, it kind of feels like it releases all at the front of the hip, doesn't it? This one as well, because as you go forwards, you get quite a nice stretch there for the hip flexor. 3 more. Keeping the control here. So release, go onto our backs then. So make your way around onto your back. And we're going to go with our 5 sets, but it's a sneaky 6 because we're going to do the first one in a beginner's layer again, a bit like last week. So super slow on this first layer. So try and get, right angles at the backs of the knees. So walk your feet sometimes away from you helps. Shoulders relaxed. Length at the back of the neck, so try not to have your chin going up to the ceiling. Perhaps a little pelvic tilt, find some sort of imprint first. Pelvic floor, TVA, and a bit of an imprint down on the lower back to the mat. So 4 toe taps, lift one leg up to tabletop and lower. Hips are super still with this. The imprint is the same on both sides. 2 and 1. Try not to let that imprint change. Lift head and shoulders, pulse. Stay strong in the wrist, strong in the forearms. Imprint the shoulders down. Imprint the lower back down with the core. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide hands towards knees or chest towards hips. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Release. 5 sets then. Progressions if you want then. I'm going to go to tabletops. Ready then. 4 toe taps. Opposite arm lift is another progression in here too. 4, 3. Keep imprinting. 2 and 1. Into pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And reach. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reset. Ready. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And to a pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Teasers there if you want them. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Here we go. 4, 3, 2. Keep imprinting. And 1. And ready to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Keep breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. 3 to go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Into a pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Into a pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Imprint. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ready to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Take a big full body stretch. Point the toes, scrunch up the fists. Squeeze glutes. Press the backs of the knees into the mat. Chin into chest. Shoulders by the ears. Pull the tummies in. Scrunch up the face. Big deep breath in. Breathing out. Just make a big star shape with the body and just relax. A couple of relaxing breaths here. Just imagine them like a wave. Just washing over you. So we're going to bend these and go to a heel slide. So perhaps start with hands on hips. Imprint lower back down. Heel slide one leg away and then bringing it back. And just notice if there's any change in the imprint. Is the weight going over to the side where the leg lengthens? And just see if you can equal that weight out using the core. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed. They might be a little bit tense. Adding in then, you've got the hips still, is make the, bring palms together up towards the ceiling, and then that comes across to the bent knee, and then recenters. Try and keep that same amount of imprint there on the lower back. Chin goes towards chest. Progressing this one, you just tabletop that, and then you bring that across into your tabletop. If you feel you can't control that and your lower back's lifting, as I'm feeling a little bit of that today, just bring it down to that first layer. Again, keep working with that chin to chest to lead the move. 4 more. And last one. Then arms up to the ceiling, knees bent. Just twist the wrists so your palms are facing outwards. Lift the shoulders off the mat. Keep the back of the head on the mat. Turn it back round so the hands are facing each other, palms are facing. Press it down and then go again. Palms away, reach up. It's just a really good shoulder release and then a big imprint with the shoulder blades. Lifting up. Try and keep the back of their head on the mat. Try not to have the chin lifting up to the ceiling, so think about that length at the back of the neck as well. So bring in the core, so switch on pelvic floor and TVA. Take out the lift, but you can still turn the hands to the sides. Reach the arms over the head, circle that around the body, back to center. Notice what happens when the arms go over the head. Does the pelvic tilt? Does the pelvis tilt? Does the mid kind of upper back lift off the mat? So see if you can keep the pelvis tucked under, keep working with the imprint in the core. And then also try and imprint that mid upper back. Now for me, I notice as well when I've got all of that going on, I'm pressing down with my feet really firmly. So I'm going to just try and let my feet turn off as well. So just another little thing, sometimes it happens. Adding in if you want, you just take that hug with the knees towards the chest and maybe just one leg to start with into a double leg stretch. And then just try with the other leg. And if you feel like you're doing that one fine, you want to try the double leg. Both legs extend away from the body as the arms go over. But again, if the lower back lifts with the double leg, maybe just try the single leg and then work with the imprint, with the control. So working with where the core is at, kind of it's working well at, not working badly. Let's work really hard, some good squeezes with the core working well. Again, keep that length at the back of the neck, chin pointing down towards the chest, or maybe towards the knees is okay. One more. Breathing out. Then place the feet on the mat, arms out to the sides. Breathe out, let both knees drop across to one side. For lower back release, you can look in the other direction for a neck release. And maybe you can feel that chest stretch, breathe in center, breathe out other side. So option here is to hold a strap. So take it over to that original side, really extend the arm out to the side, work with the chest stretch, and then just place the hand onto your opposite top of your knee, and you can just gently press down and work into that twist. Again, you could look into the other direction, or you could look straight up to the ceiling. So maybe you feel a little bit more in the glutes with that stretch. Another option, you can straighten legs. So you can really get into that twist. And also it's a really good chest stretch here. Expanding and filling out the ribcage with air. Widening ribcage, filling out the lungs with air. And then just go to the other side. Same thing, just let the knees drop. Then reach the arm up to the side. Find that juicy chest stretch. You can either look to the side or look up to the ceiling. Then just place the hand just above the knee, a little bit of pressure down. You can straighten the legs, really work with some length. And again, just a couple of really deep breaths. Widening the rib cage. So coming into center, we're going to go for the shoulder bridge. So walk your heels a bit closer. Perhaps you can just brush your fingertips on your heels. Knees, feet hip width, and just check the parallel feet, because sometimes feet want to turn in or turn out on this, so try and get them parallel. Take a pelvic tilt, just treat it like a massage for the lower back. Try and get each vertebrae to engage with the mat. You can feel like your pelvic floor engages and pulls in, and you can feel the hollowing on the TVA. Then think about these other things. So try and relax the shoulders. So are the shoulders holding tension? Are you really pressing down into the feet a lot? So see if you can just take a little bit of tension away from the feet. There will be a little bit as you pelvic tilt. And then quite a lot when we go into our lift. So let's go into our lift. Lifting up the hips. Try and get some length at the back of the neck, chin into chest. See if you can create a nice straight line now from the knees all the way down to the shoulders. Arms going up and over the body. Then see if you can work at just flicking out one leg to straighten it. Bend, reset, hips super still, squeeze in the glutes, other side. So just don't let the hips drop as you do your flicks. So super stable there in the glutes. And this is a lower back exercise. Strengthening that lower back. 4 more. Breathing out into the leg flick, the leg lift. Try not to let the feet turn out to the sides or the arches drop as you switch them over. Try not to let those hips drop down each time. Keep that nice straight line from knees down to shoulders. Bring the arms down, slowly lowering vertebrae by vertebrae, hug knees into chest. Bit of a rock or a circle. And then if you can, see if you can rock yourself up to a seated position. I'm going to do a really similar one to last week with the shoulder stand. So we'll do it in layers. The first one is C-shape the lower back down to an upright position, looking forwards. Try not to lift up here with the head. Think about length at the back of the neck. So it's just a C-shape, just warming us up to like an upright position. Chest goes in towards the knees, length at the back of the neck. We're not lifting up the chin. Last one. Curving with the spine, and then just getting nice and upright. Then let's lift up the feet, hold on to shins, curve the spine, rock back. And then come back to your hover position, engage through the core. 2 more just like that. Rock it back. With control, we're trying to get vertebrae by vertebrae coming down. And then again. So the next one needs to be tucked in. Especially when you're on YouTube. So it's going to be rock back, go up to shoulder stand. Then over for a hamstring stretch. Then back to shoulder stand. Then down into the same hover position. So do 2 more like that. Go back. When you're in those shoulder stands, support your lower back with your hands and just see if you can get your legs pointing to the ceiling, so a nice straight line. Then slowly lower them over. See if you can get them parallel to your mat. Feel the hamstring stretch. Go really super slow on this. Then go back up to the shoulder stand. So you have to tilt the pelvis to get to the straight line. And then down. And then you can always end as well with the straight back if you want to. Last one, and then I'm going to add in something else. Up with that control. Chin goes deeply in towards chest. And then over. And then up. And then lowering. So option to add in is an open rocker. So you take the legs wide, you rock back, open rocker, then shoulder stand. Then you could bring that over, then up, then down. Open rockers, that's a balance. Over, shoulder stand. You could take any version of this. I mean, I'm just putting extra little eccentric work for the hamstrings, really. And then in. 1 more. Open rockers. If you want to play with them. Control them as they go over. Control your shoulder stands. And lowering it down. Quite nice little combos, really, especially the slow rollovers, just so good for the hamstrings. Just check the time. Oh yeah, we're finished now. Okay, spine twist. Let's have a spine twist. Maybe grab a block or a cushion if you normally use that, but I might today actually. Just to get that nice upright position. A couple of rolls on the shoulders down and back. Length at the back of the neck, palms together. Breathing in, get tall. Breathing out, very subtle twist. Frame the knee with the elbows. And then centering, breathing in, get tall. And breathing out for your twist. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed for these twists. Should feel it on those long strands, either side of the spine. Just 2 more. Perhaps as you breathe in, you can think about a smile. I was watching myself then and I looked so serious. Spine twist is so serious. Then we'll finish breathing, just a quick breathing exercise with the big long band. I just realised I didn't stretch the hamstrings today with the bands. I was going to. But do you know what? The rollover with with the legs straight, that was a hamstring stretch, so we're fine. We've done some. Placing it around the bottom of the rib cage, but try and have it as wide as you can.
And then just take maybe 5, 6 really deep breaths, but put the tension on the band so that we're breathing into the band tension. It's like quite hard work to expand into the band. You can think about the yogic breath, so you can start in the belly, then you widen the rib cage, send it up towards the collarbones. But make sure you're working hard to work into the band. And then release the band and just take maybe 3 breaths and just see how that feels. Should feel quite nice. You can still stick with the yogic breath with the lift. It should feel a bit easier taking that band away. And then the beginning exercise we did with the fingers, the mudras, the index finger and thumb, just see if it feels a bit easier. The middle finger, are you getting those other fingers straight? The ring finger, the little finger, and then the sneaky little gap in the middle. Oh, namaste.